noon hour is here.
Check it out.
And you're locked on to Utah's highest rated, most listened to sports radio station.
It's my station. It's my station.
This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Let's get it, folks. How you doing, Hans? A beautiful day. This is football weather. Still nice out there. Still no snow. Let's go. Let's have some fun. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Scotty. I'm doing fantastic. Had a nice drive in. I'm actually enjoying this. What are we now? Mid-December weather?
Yeah, I could get used to this for sure.
A little bit of a mid-December weather. Some warmth getting out of the car. I mean, I've got my stocking cap, my beanie, and I've got my sweater on. And I don't know, man. Maybe we're T-shirt weather here.
Yeah, maybe you brought a little bit of that Hawaii weather back with you.
But I'm good, buddy. Obviously, very, very busy. Put more work into the BYU Georgia Tech game, and I really should be paying more attention to the Utah State Washington State game. But I'm going to start a lot of film on Washington State. I've got a good understanding of Utah State.
Yeah.
I just got to learn a little bit about Washington State. But I was listening to their new head coach yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy seems like he's on top of it.
Yeah.
Seems like he's going to be a great addition, right?
Yeah. And I mean, the guy's got a great resume, and I think that it's a really interesting time for that conference in developing a new world and new. I mean, it's not a reformed Pac-12. It's just a new conference. Let's just be honest.
Brand new conference.
It's a brand new conference. Like, you're building this thing from the ground up.
And they're going to be fighting a lot of perception.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of perception out there. Oh, so you invited a bunch of state schools, and then you invited Gonzaga to try to butch up the basketball. But it's like, no, there's a lot of good schools here.
Yeah, there is.
And I don't understand the negative connotation with state schools. What is that?
I don't know either. David James used to tell me that.
Have you heard that mention, though, with the Pac-12?
A little bit, yeah. DJ used to mention when he was at Santa Barbara, and there would be like a Cal State Fullerton, or everybody go state school. Like, I don't know. What's wrong with going to a land-grant school?
For those of you that are wondering what we're talking about, so the Pac-12 with Washington State and Oregon State have invited Boise State, Utah State, Colorado State, San Diego State, Fresno State. It's a state school institution is what it's become.
And Gonzaga.
Yeah. Which, just throw a curveball in there.
Gonzaga State University.
Throw in Gonzaga. But they're going to fight just a lot of negative perception. And then they're also going to have to find their way. They're going to have to find creativity. We're seeing Utah in a very creative action right now, working towards something bigger than just college football with this joint venture effort that they're going in with the private equity. I would like to see an entire conference get involved with something like that. And by the way, we just saw Brett Yormark is working on some potential big money deals to try to bring money to each of his institutions. Everybody's got to start thinking outside of the box.
Yep.
How do you generate the money so that Utah State can retain their coaches and retain their roster? And how can you do it so Colorado State can hold suit? Because the entire conference has to be strong. Because now the goal is to overtake the American, because the American seems to overtaken the Mount West Conference, at least for the time being.
Yeah.
The Mount West Conference is now losing some of their finest pieces, and it's going to this new Pac-12. Now the Pac-12's got to find a way to grab the label and logo of the top group of 6 brand out there. Now, the Pac-12 obviously wants to remain as the Pac-12. And they're like, wait, no, we're still a power team and a power conference. And it's like, no, you're going to have to prove yourself.
Yeah, no, you're starting from scratch. You got to start from the bottom and work your way back up again.
And, I was actually on a phone call this morning with a college football coach, and we were talking about the JMUs and the Tulanes of the world. And I think that we are right on the edge of, if there's a large amount of embarrassment, if they don't show well in this first round, which I just don't think they are.
I don't think both of, like, somebody's getting blown out.
look at Washington and Boise State.
Yeah.
That should have been a competitive, hard-fought down to the final minute. And I know you got opt-outs and you got injuries and you got all these other things. But even then, it's like, keep it close because you're representing the group of 5 brand. So Boise, if you can play. If you can coach. You better coach your butt off. And you are the brand that needs to represent. You've got to beat Washington. Even though it's a meaningless bowl game to start the bowl season, you got to beat Washington because everybody's looking right now. Everybody's got their, they're all just kind of peeking like, so how wide is this gap? And I think if JMU and Tulane don't show well, I think it'll be the end of the automatic qualifying.
When this thing gets reached,
if it stays at 12.
Well, and I think it'll go to 16. But and I do think there'll probably always be a automatic for a G5 school, just only because they want to avoid the lawsuits from like, hey, you're making all this money and you owe us some of this, and so I think that there'll always be one spot. But look, you won't find a G5 honk more than me
or me.
And so we represent that show, but honestly, neither of those teams deserve to be in there this year. They don't. Now, Boise deserved to be in there last year, but not as a first-round bye.
I think BYU and Utah would, out of 10 games, both against JMU and Tulane, I think they'd go 9-1.
Yeah.
They might sweep it.
I'd lean more 10-0 before 9-1, but yeah.
That's
all I'd give them would be one.
And I'm just worried because you tried to shoehorn them in to this 12 team. It's elite.
Yeah.
And you leave BYU out. You leave Utah out.
Frankly, you leave Notre Dame out.
Not to mention, the Notre Dames and Texases of the world that were stomping their feet and making all kinds of noise and have tons of money. We're talking about $44 million rosters. JMU's roster is probably $3.5 million.
Yeah, if that. Yeah.
And you're holding out big time talent, big time coaches, big time money, and if you go in and you don't compete, the noise will get so loud that I just don't know what's going to happen. It was a bad look for Boise State against Washington.
Yeah, and the problem is you don't get the benefit of the doubt. Like TCU loses to Georgia in the national championship game, 63-3 or something. Like it was a absolutely abysmal, nasty blowout. But TCU doesn't have that hanging over its head. They got embarrassed, sure, but nobody's like, well, the Big 12 or, that school never deserved to be here. Nobody's saying that. They're just like, yeah, you got embarrassed on a big stage. But if that happens to Tulane or if it happens to JMU coming up this weekend, then everybody's like, yeah, get these guys out of here. Get them out. Like Notre Dame, more often than not, gets blown out in the college football playoff. I know they had to run to the championship game a couple of years ago, but more often than not, they get in and then they get blown out. And nobody ever says, well, Notre Dame doesn't deserve to be there. The problem is you just have no margin of error when you're a G5 school. And so they will pile up on you and they will toss you to the curb and think you are worthless if you can't show your worth. And you're right, that Boise State-Washington State game, no good.
No, it was a bad look.
No good at all. Hey, by the way, before we get started, I wanted to kind of talk about, and we sent out a clip yesterday about the conversation we had a couple days ago about Kyle Whittingham and the University of Utah and no press conference. And let me clarify something real quick because, I talk about how, look, I graduated in PR. I worked a little bit in it out of college. And so I started thinking about this. I'm like, all right, let me put myself in the shoes of the University of Utah. In terms of, and I said the word news dump. Now, if you don't know what a Friday news dump is, there's a lot of corporations, sports teams, whatever, that will wait until a Friday afternoon.
Typically, they're bad news. And
they're usually bad news or news that they don't want people to talk about. They'll wait till Friday around 4:30, 5 o'clock, issue the release, and then everybody goes home for the weekend, and nobody can really talk about it. So I talked about that in terms of Kyle Whittingham and the press release from him and the school announcing that he was stepping down at the University of Utah, and then a Saturday announcement that Morgan Scalley was the new head coach. And so I started to think about that in terms of if I were a PR guy and Kyle Whittingham announced to the team on a Friday that he was stepping down and that Morgan was going to be the next head coach, how I would handle that. And you realize, okay, well, look, PR and sports information, it's not a Monday through Friday 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. kind of job. Like you always have to have your head on a swivel.
On call 24/7.
On call 24/7. So when Kyle maybe says something ahead of schedule or ahead of what you were planning on him doing in terms of announcing that he's stepping down, you have to have that release ready to go. And so it may not have been, it probably wasn't a Friday news dump. It was probably Kyle just saying, yeah, I'm done. And everybody's like, oh, crap. We got to get a release out there. We got to get a statement out there. Get it out there. And then you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, let's have Kyle enjoy his day and then have Morgan Scalley announced on Saturday. But we could wait until Monday, but then everybody's going to wonder, well, is Morgan Scalley really the guy? And why does it take 3 days to figure out if Morgan Scalley's the head coach? Let's announce it on Saturday so Kyle has his day on Friday and then Morgan can have his day on Saturday. All of that makes sense. If that's in fact what happened, and there's a good chance it was, then that makes sense to me. So the Friday news dump comment, that was probably irrational on my part and probably not the best choice of words. But back to the main gist of our conversation in terms of a press conference for neither Kyle Whittingham or Morgan Scalley. I understand they've got a game to prepare for. I understand that those guys are both business-oriented guys, and they want to get locked and loaded for that Georgia Tech game and send their seniors, send the coaching staff, send everybody out the right way. And Kyle doesn't look. The last thing Kyle wants is a press conference. Yeah. I get that. I'm getting bombarded with tweets. Kyle never wants that. I know. Trust me. I know. Kyle Whittingham once snapped a headphone, a $400 headset of ours, with his bare hands because he didn't want to do an interview. Mm-hmm. Like, I get that. Kyle Whittingham does not want a right off in the sunset press conference. But I do think it's unfortunate, and it puts Kyle in a bad situation. Not a bad situation, but an uncomfortable situation where the first time he has to address him stepping down at the University of Utah is at a bowl press conference. Like, I would think that you would want to control the narrative and be able to have Kyle Whittingham on your podium, have it centered around the University of Utah, not a bowl game, and you can control the messaging better there. Honor Kyle and then honor Morgan at the same time with a press conference. You got a great photo op of both of them holding a jersey. Everything's great. A passing of the torch. Because if there's any smoke out there, if there's any former player or anybody else out there that has a notion that this wasn't handled well or that Kyle was done dirty, you can get ahead of that. And you can say, no, this was the press conference, here's the photo op, here's all of this, just in case there may be some news coming out down the line, and there's a lot of smoke out there, that this didn't go as well as Kyle Whittingham would have hoped, or that, the situation wasn't handled great. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't. But there's smoke out there, and you can get ahead of that by saying no and have Kyle Whittingham on a podium, Morgan Scalley on a podium, and lay out exactly how it played out, and you can control the narrative. But right now, you could have a parent, a former coach, you could have a player, former player, whatever the case, and they could go public on something, whether or not it's true, and you've got a powder keg on your hands.
Yeah, it could be trouble.
And so I just looked at it from a standpoint of you can get ahead of it. You can honor these guys the right way by holding a press conference quickly, control the narrative, and get out in front of any issue that you may have. Because who knows? Like you said, it's a weird world we're living in, and it only takes one tweet from one person, and this whole thing could blow up. And Utah's in a really interesting pickle, and it could get ugly.
Yeah, and you want to avoid it.
Yeah, absolutely.
As much as you can. So a couple things based off of that, and haven't been around it as long as we have. That's why you know that this was a surprise to a lot of people.
Yes.
I'll bet a lot of people. And I'm talking about not a surprise within maybe an hour, but maybe a surprise within a day or a week. And that's why when you asked me if I would have rather known Val Edwards was on his way out at the beginning of the year or found out at the end of the year, when you got a legend on your hands like Kyle is, I think it's got to be a year. I think it's got to be a year. And if he said at some point, I want one more year, and you as a department could say, okay, we'll build a Kyle Whittingham exit tour, and in the meantime, we're going to get different funding to put things in place to commemorate the greatest coach in Utah history. And we're going to do this the right way. That's the way this is going down. It makes me believe that one, if not all parties, were not overly aware of what was coming.
Yes.
And what was going to happen. And in order to control a narrative, you got to know. And well, you and I have worked with these different sports information departments for years, and they're very good.
Oh, yeah.
And the current individuals that are in place for Weber State, Utah State, for Utah, for BYU, the current individuals, they're prompt.
Yeah.
And you and I get calls. We get texts often of, hey, this was not handled right, or this was not handled right. And I get it. Like, I totally understand it, because they want to be on top of things. When they get caught, it's like, no, because they're in charge of the picture.
Yes.
They're in charge of how this is going to go. Like, when BYU was announcing that I was going to be taking the broadcasting job with Greg Wrubell, I came in and it was a management of, okay, how does this thing get released? When does it get released? What type of picture do we want to paint for you, where you've been, what you're doing? And it was a real eye-opening experience that anything that's spur of the moment, anything that is out of the blue, it is not good for those departments. It's really rough.
Yeah.
And they're trying to play catch-up. So I understand all that, but with kind of the what you're saying to me, it just makes me feel like things were not decided a long time ago. Things were decided quickly. And with Kyle Whittingham, I wish that wasn't the case. I honestly wanted a Kobe Bryant tour for him.
Oh, yeah. I would have loved that as well.
Yeah, one more shot at the Big 12, and every game was his final. Now, it doesn't matter what I want, and it doesn't matter what Utah wants. It's Kyle Whittingham. It's his world.
Yep.
It's his world. Now, if his request is, I don't want a big presser. I don't want a notoriety. I don't want acknowledgement. Screw that. Every legend is like that. Every legend's like that. That doesn't mean that you just let him go quietly. You have to parade him around, because by parading him around, you're parading your product.
Yes.
And there has to be a closeness. There's got to be a collaboration. If Kyle goes on and coaches Michigan, or if he goes on, that's great. I can't wait. I'd love to see him branch out and finish 4 or 5 years of a career, get him to 70. And then if he wants to coach to 72, well, there's a lot of precedent set that that's possible, and he can do it. And that'd be fine. If not, there has to be a collaboration. There has to be a partnership. Kyle Whittingham is Utah. Utah is Kyle Whittingham. The two entities cannot separate. Now, Kyle might say to them, hey, I just want to be in the shadows. I don't ever want to be heard from again. They got to say to Kyle, hey, Kyle, we got to do right by us.
Yeah.
We have to make your name synonymous. We have to make sure that it is etched in stone forever. And he can say, he can fight it and be like, that's not what I wanted. You guys know that. I don't like fanfare. Screw that, man. You have to commemorate a legend like that.
Yeah. And you have to do Morgan a solid too by making it a peaceful transition of power.
You have to. And at some point, those two need to be on a podium together.
Yes.
And at some point, they need to be in a team room together. And I don't know how this has been handled with the team, but, in the world of transfer portals and in the world of poaching and in the world of NIL, the first thing you better do is make sure that the kids feel like this is a peaceful transition. Like, oh, yeah, mom and dad still love each other. Okay, he's just going off. He's going to raise a different family.
Yeah.
But they still love each other.
You get 2 Christmases.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, yeah, totally.
If that exit feels bumpy, let's say that I'm a junior interior guard. I'll just say junior defensive tackle. And I'm seeing it. I'm like, something doesn't feel right. This is awkward. What happened here? We're going to get to the bottom of it, and it's going to become a distraction, and it's going to become a rumor mill in the locker room. And me and Scott Gerard are going to be sitting there saying in the locker room, hey, what happened?
Yeah. I
don't know. That doesn't feel right, does it? Or we're going to be sitting there and saying, awesome, man, that was great how Kyle handled it. He talked about the growth and development of the program, and Morgan is now going to take it with his youth and his ideas, and it's going to go in the stratosphere. I can see the handing of power, and I can see the joint effort, and this was great, and I'm excited to be here. Or what happened?
Yeah.
Why was Kyle not in the team meeting, or why did he not? And by the way, Scotty and I have zero insight into any of this.
We're just talking about public perception.
And we're just handing out options here in the way that it could have or should have or might have not happened. The way it needs to happen, Kyle has to be a Utah institution. The Whittingham name has to be attached to the program. Whether he wants it or not, doesn't, and we both know him, he doesn't. He doesn't want it. I don't care. He probably doesn't want me sitting here barking about him. My guess is he'd be like, why don't you just shut up about it? Just shut up about it. I'm going to go do my thing. Like, I'm not worried about it. Whatever he might be thinking, but that's not the way I'm going to attack it.
No, because you got to do what's best for your program.
Right.
This isn't doing right. I mean, you're doing right by Kyle, but you're also doing right for your institution.
Right.
And the stability of your institution.
Putting Lavelle's name on that stadium did a great thing for Brigham Young University.
Yeah.
And it did a great thing for Lavelle. And it tied the two together. It tied the two together in growth and in success together. Kyle Whittingham's name has to be attached to Utah forever because, in my opinion, in my 20 years covering this market, his name attachment shows growth and success.
Yep. There's a standard there.
There were no scandals. There were very, very few bumps, if any. Yeah, he had to make a couple of hires and fires, and he made some changes, but he did it to the betterment of the University of Utah and for the growth and development of it. It's like, I look at that guy, he has got to be your university staple. 21 years of frickin' winning.
Yeah.
Recruiting, doing more with less. You know, back in the Christian Cox days, it was all about we're taking a no-star to a 5-star. Like we're doing more with less. And I just, even if he's begging the university, just let me go. You can't.
Yeah, you're like, we will, but you got to do this for us first.
Yeah. Oh, we'll let you go, but we're going to do this. Whether you want to be a part of it or not, we are hitching our wagon to you forever.
Yeah.
Because of what you did for us for 21 years. And to me, that logo and Kyle Whittingham, and that might be largely because, you know, this has been a big part of my career, my life, covering Kyle Whittingham in Utah. Those two are one and the same.
Yeah.
And if there's a unsettled, unhappy departure, I don't like that. And if somebody's out there like, well, Kyle will be unhappy if they go against his wishes and honor him by putting a statue, he'll get over it.
No, I think Kyle would be just fine.
He'll get over it.
He'll get over it.
You know, there's something about driving by your statue that is solidly planted in cement forever. That
turning on a TV and seeing Kyle Whittingham Field in your signature.
Come on.
You'd be fine.
My Uncle Merlin was not big on, public praise. But I'm pretty sure when the Buswell statue went up outside of the stadium and his name went on the floor, he was probably pretty happy about that.
Yeah. Hans and Scotty, we're here at Tim Daly Mazda Southtown. Come on by, say hi. We got great opportunities for you to save a ton of money. It's the end of the year here at Tim Daly Mazda Southtown. We'll talk more about how Jake and the crew can save you a ton of money. But Danny Ainge joins us next right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Number one.
Miss any part of the show? Every moment of every show is available in podcast form by searching Hans and Scotty on your favorite podcasting platform or online at KSLSports.com. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We are live here at Tim Daly Mazda Southtown. And you got Jake, you got the rest of the crew down here. Juan's right here right now. He's going to help you out, get you into a vehicle that you love to drive. And, by the way, I'm going to tweet this out here in a bit. Did I tell you about Brooks, my middle son?
No.
Look at that. Rocking the new Mazda 3.
Oh, my gosh. That's sweet.
Yeah.
He took the plunge, huh?
He took the plunge. Mom and Dad helped him out a little bit, but he is now my college kid is now rocking a Mazda 3. He's on a lease, and
It's good looking.
off we go. Well, beautiful car.
Yeah, that's a
beautiful ride.
Nice looking car.
So Danny Ainge expected a moment just here, is expected to join us coming up here in just a moment. We'll chat with him. Jazz get a big victory the other night in overtime against Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg, though, putting up 42. I'm kind of curious to see what Danny Ainge thinks about that Cooper Flagg performance and him as a rookie and what his long-term success could be like in the NBA.
Yeah, that along with some of Keontae George's performances, averaging nearly 24 points a game right now. Did you, in your wildest expectations, I know somebody's got to score, but in your wildest expectations, did you expect Keontae George to be this?
No, nope, not at all.
I think that's the biggest surprise to this point. There's some other really great surprises, but right now, Keontae George and his development and feeling like he could be a true piece of the Jazz future, which I'm sure it's not a surprise to a lot of people, but it is to me. I've been shocked just by his overall ability.
No doubt. In fact, let's catch up with Danny Ainge.
It's time to talk Jazz basketball with the CEO of the Utah Jazz and NBA legend, Danny Ainge. With Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Danny Ainge, kind enough to join us for his weekly conversation right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Danny, first off, happy holidays. We're going to be off next week, but hope everything's going well with you and the family. I'm sure there's little time to really sit back and enjoy it. You're probably watching a lot of college hoops right now.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of hoops, G League teams and college teams and NBA teams. But didn't Hans have last week off too?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Hey, Danny, how's everything?
How do you get that job?
Oh, man. I was not expecting this. This is a blind side. I was not expecting. I will say, Danny, it's been a very long football season, and I felt like I needed to treat my wife to a couple of days of Hands.
These last 2.5 months took a lot out of you, didn't it?
I know you expect more from me, Danny. I apologize to you.
No, you deserve the break.
So when you, by the way, the Danny Ainge vacation spot, when you try to unplug and get away, like where do you try to get you and the wife and the family to?
Well, I like San Diego. My wife is from San Diego. I love the ocean. Yeah, I mean, I just love walking on the beach. It's very relaxing to me, San Diego.
What is some things you do? Like, are you a fisherman? Do you get out, do a little deep sea fishing? Do you get a river or a stream, or are you a golfer mostly when you're on vacation? Or what's your go-to relaxed sport or activity?
Well, for sure, golf. I mean, I've tried pretty much everything over the years, but yeah, golf is I'm in load management except for golf right now.
There's no rest days for golf. You could do that 7 days a week.
Hey,
yeah, unfortunately, it just takes a little bit too much time, but other than that, it's great.
Oh yeah, it does. It does. It takes four-hour chunk out of every day if you're into it.
So
right.
when you're watching Cooper Flagg and you've seen a lot of great rookies, how impressed are you with what you're able to see from him in his first month in the NBA?
Well, I've been watching Cooper Flagg since he was about 16 years old, and so I'm not surprised by his start in the NBA, and he's got a very bright future. I think everybody knows that, and that's watched him play. He's just a team player and a complete player.
What's his best attribute from what you've seen of him since he was 16?
I mean, he's extremely tough, tough-minded, but I think that his greatest asset is that he doesn't really have a glaring weakness. I mean, he defends, he handles the ball, he passes, he shoots. He hasn't always been all of those things, but he's progressed to the point where, here in a few days on his 19th birthday, he'll have pretty much passed the test for being a complete player.
You know, Danny, this is interesting to me because Jazz go into that Dallas game. They get a great win in overtime, great performances by a lot of players. Is there a bit of an acknowledgement like, okay, this is that big-time draft pick, and here's Ace Bailey, who had been considered as a number one at one point, and you've got this kind of team interest in making sure that you come out of that game with a W. Does that stuff still happen in professional basketball, or is that more high school and college?
I'm not sure what you mean by
just,
that.
Just seeing the target, seeing that Cooper Flagg is all things NBA, was the big storyline, was the big draft pick, and just wanting to put a target on him and take him down and beat him.
You know, the way the NBA is, I think there's a target every night. And, for the players that we have and the young players that we have, there's our next game is the Lakers, and there'll be a target with Doncic and LeBron and Austin Reeves. I mean, there's guys want to take the challenge against the best players in the league, and that's what it's all about. And you don't have a night where there's not great players.
That's true.
Is there a point in a player's career where they just are who they are and they usually don't take another step? Is it, year 2, year 3, year 4 that they pretty much who they are? Or do you see from time to time a guy elevate to another level maybe after, a handful of years in the league?
Well, I'll tell you a great story on that is, I was with Phoenix and was coaching when we drafted Steve Nash. Mm-hmm. And he was the 15th pick in the draft. Steve was coming off the bench for his rookie year. We knew he had a bright future, but playing a lesser role coming off the bench. Was traded to Dallas eventually and played well in Dallas. Not super special, but then he becomes a free agent at age 33 in Dallas. And he signs back with Phoenix, and he becomes an MVP of the league 2 years in a row. And we're talking about a guy that I don't know if he made 1 or 2 All-Star teams before that, but then turned, at age 33 and 34, I think he was a 2-time MVP. And, that was as big a leap as I've ever seen by anybody that age. No one's ever done that before or since. Not sure anybody ever will, but that's probably the most dramatic one that I've seen. Even though Steve was already good, he wasn't MVP good.
Man, there's got to be such a fine balance for you, Danny, and for anybody that's associated with an organization of, okay, we got to give them time and resources. For instance, I'm watching Taylor Hendrickson. He has just an unfortunate injury at a very unfortunate time. I just know in a professional career, that second year, it's just so critical. And, you're continuing to extend time to Taylor Hendricks. He goes out the other night and shows that he's still got insane perimeter ability and he's still got insane length. And you're like, okay, well, how far can you go? What is the upside? And how long do you continue to push? That's got to be a fine line to walk, Danny.
It is tough. And, every team is in a different circumstance. Can you afford to give a young guy development time, or are you trying to win every single game, every single night, and win a title and get home court in the playoffs? So every team is in unique situations. And Taylor going through an injury like that, he's fortunate that Will believes in him and has given him those opportunities to play. And he's proven it on a few of the nights. He's done well. He's been getting more minutes and more reps when he's gone down to the G League to play down there. And I feel like he's handled everything so well. His rehab, he's so professional in his approach. He's positive. He's upbeat. And I think that he really believes he'll get himself back physically to where he was. I think that for us to evaluate him and judge him, we've really got to give him a little more time on healing from the injury, just because it was that dramatic of an injury.
If you were in charge of all things NBA and you could control all the rules, everything involved, would you go back to letting high school kids go in the draft, or do you like having them sit out a year and maybe even more if it were up to you?
Oh, well, if it were my world, they'd all play more. They'd all play more years of college. I think it's just better. You know, the better they are when they come into the NBA, I think their chance of success is. You know, like obviously there's a lot of high school players that have come into the NBA that have been future Hall of Famers and MVPs of the league. So I'm not pointing out the KGs and the LeBrons and the Kobes and the Magic Johnsons, although Magic played 2 years. I just think that, you know, the guys that they physically need to get there to play in the NBA, and mentally and emotionally. And I think that everybody is just in a rush in the world that we live in. Everyone's in a rush to get to that free agent money. And the sooner they come into the NBA, it starts their clock sooner. And I don't think that the preparation is given as much consideration as it needs to.
You know, you look at some of these older guys like Walter Clayton that spent a couple of years, and, you know, Scotty and I have seen a couple come through. Was it Wes Matthews? Was he 4 years in college and came through, did some incredible things. We've seen some come through. Do you try to spot those in the draft a little bit, Danny, and maybe say, okay, I like that age. I like that kind of that veteran attitude, or do you just have to purely spot talent?
You know, yeah, I think there's an attractiveness of both. There's an attractiveness of 19-year-olds with, you know, big upsides and some growing pains, and there's attractiveness to a 22-year-old ready to go today. And even at 22, there's still learning curve in the NBA, and a learning curve with a coach and a player and a system, especially at the point guard position. But I feel like, you know, when I say there's not enough consideration given, I'm saying that in the players, with the young players and the families and the agents, I believe that their focus is on, you know, let's get started, let's go, and not like we need another year of preparation or we need 2 more years of preparation to get there. And it's like it's some sort of failure if you go back to college for another year or two. And that's what it feels like in the environment that I'm working right now.
Yeah, it almost feels like it's a knock on a kid if he stays for his junior and senior year. Like, well, what's wrong with him? Because if he could have gone, he would have gone. And to a certain extent, maybe this new world of NIL where kids are compensated and some at a very high level is going to help break that stereotype, because there are kids out there like, well, you know, I can try to go in the draft and be a late first rounder or maybe a second rounder, or I can stay in college and make a whole heck of a lot more money for another year in college. So maybe that's helpful in a way in allowing kids and not forcing them, but encouraging them to stay in college a little bit longer.
Yeah, so I think you're right, Scotty. I think that, but those guys are the guys that aren't going to be paid a lot in the NBA. Those are guys that are kind of on the bubble. Are they going to be a second-round draft pick? Are they going to be not drafted and try to make it into the NBA the hard way? The top-notch players are all coming out if they're going to get drafted in the top. Usually, we get phone calls around draft time, or if we get drafted in the first round, we'll stay. Otherwise, we're going back to school. We get that. That's pretty common. But even we'll get, if he's drafted in the top 10, he'll come out of the draft. But if he doesn't, then he'll go back to college, because players have that freedom. And so they try to pressure us into making those kind of decisions as well, which I don't think it has much impact on what we're going to do as it has on their futures. But it just feels like that there's a knock on a kid that has to go back to school for his third and fourth year, and there just shouldn't be at all. There's so many great players. I mean, Tim Duncan stands out to me as a guy that played 4 years. He could have come out earlier, and he stayed, and he was ready to go on day one. He was a ready-made player, but he probably was ready-made earlier too. So some guys just like the college world more, and that was before college players were getting paid.
Well, Danny, we're kind of in an interesting situation now. Utah Jazz playing extremely well, going 4-2 in the last 6. And if the NBA season were to end today, the Utah Jazz would be playing in a play-in tournament and an opportunity to be in the postseason. Just where they stand right now, and we're, 24 to 26 games through an NBA season, with where the Jazz stand right now, is it just full pedal to the metal for you, and are you enjoying what you're seeing from this team in this 6 or 7 game stretch?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun watching our young players develop. It's fun watching Lowry improve, like right before our eyes. He's I don't think people know this because we look at numbers so much, but, I mean, he's so much better than he's been ever in his career. So there's another guy that we have, not Steve Nash like. He's not an MVP candidate right now, but you can see how much better he is all around and competitively and just complete at this stage of his career. And, you know, watching Keontae grow and develop but all the guys, I could go down the list and just see them slowly developing, putting the time in and the work, and it's been fun to watch.
Well, Danny, we appreciate it as always. Great conversation, great insight. Enjoy your holidays next week, and we look forward to catching up with you here in a couple of weeks.
Merry Christmas, Danny.
All right, you guys too. Have fun.
Will do.
Don't take time off, man. Don't take another week. Hopefully you don't get 2 weeks for Christmas.
Oh, man. What's funny, Danny? I used to have a blast with Jerry Sloan. I was just jumping into this broadcasting thing, coming out of a football career, and he'd give me a hard time all the time. And I felt like every time he saw me, he'd say, "What are you, on banking hours?" I don't know if he used to say that to you, Scotty, but, man, Jerry was the king of just busting you every time he saw you. It's like I could not escape getting attacked by Jerry, but, man, I love it. I got to tell you that.
All right. Happy holidays, guys.
You got it. We'll see you
later.
Back at you, Danny.
There he is, Danny Ainge, Utah Jazz, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Did he used to hit you with that?
Oh, absolutely. So if you'd miss a couple shoot-arounds and then show up,
yeah,
where the hell you been?
Yeah. Well, so you don't have to work?
Oh, okay.
Did you not have to work Tuesday through Friday?
So we're all here working and you're not? Okay, I get it.
Oh, Jerry was the best. Now I got Danny that's just busting me. Weren't you just off a week?
I mean, I know Lloyd's back there just smiling.
Oh, I know. He's just loving it. Yeah, I was off a week ago. Doggone it.
Yeah. But, if we needed to work next week.
I didn't think that at all. I was surprised he did that.
I'm sure you've got that marked. I'm sure you probably reminded him. Hey, Danny, remind Hans that he was on vacation last time.
All right. What you may have missed coming up next, Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the EKSL Sports Zone.
Looking for the latest on the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, and Aggies? Yeah. We've got you covered. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We are at Tim Daly Mazda Southtown. Great vehicles, all priced to move. Jake and the crew ready to help you out. Juan's right here now. He'll get you into a vehicle. He helped me out on my Mazda 3 that I got my kid for Christmas. So a little early Christmas present for my kid.
He's got to be excited about that.
He was on cloud 9. Beautiful vehicle. Those Mazda 3 hatchbacks. Woo.
Yeah, and what's incredible is you can get a lease under $300.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous.
This is a college kid.
Yeah.
That is able to make a lease payment
Yep.
on a vehicle that will not break down on him.
Nope.
And has all the things that these young kids love with whatever Apple plays and electric windows and
electric locks.
Is that standard?
It is. You will. That comes included with every new Mazda.
Did you see what I pulled up in? I drove my wife's 90.
Oh, nice.
Today. It's always fun to know that your wife has a much nicer car that's much faster.
Yeah.
So I jumped in a 90 today, and it's got the electric locks. So all you do is walk by the car with the keys, and it unlocks and everything.
Yeah.
It's weird. what's weird what these cars are capable of now.
It's awesome.
You don't even have to press a button. It just knows you're coming.
Yeah. Like, oh, all right, let's unlock this.
Welcome, Mr.
Papa.
Olson.
Hands is coming.
Please don't put your earwax under my seat.
Treat me like a member of the family. Please respect and keep the car clean.
Are those your gym shorts again, Mr. Olson?
You know, those powdered donuts are better in your mouth than all over my seat. Oh, boy. Yeah, if our cars could talk, they would not be particularly happy.
Mr. Olson, that's your 600th milligram of caffeine today.
And it's not 10 a.m. yet.
I'm being honest. A cop could pull me over 5 days out of a 7-day week and find that white powdery substance on my lap, shirt, and in my car.
I was having a crazy couple years with those raspberry-filled powdered donuts.
Yeah. You know, you and I, we back in the day, we'd sink our teeth into something figurative, and literally, and then we would just burn it right into the ground, and then move on to something else.
Until you couldn't go anymore.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, we're talking about the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and we're going to be talking to Kalani here in just a minute, but talking about the Pop-Tarts Bowl, I'm not even joking when I told you I had a major problem with the s'mores Pop-Tart. I was eating upwards to 8 to 12 a day. Like, I was stopping at Maverick because it's an affordable treat. You know, it was like $1.35, and you get 2 of those amazing Pop-Tarts. And I just love the s'more Pop-Tart. And I guess I went overboard with it. I got help.
Got the help you needed.
I got the help I needed.
Joining us now, Kalani Sitake, kind enough to hang out with us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, the head coach of BYU. Kalani, when you saw that Pop-Tart come out of that trophy, you had to have a big smile on your face. That's a trophy you can rally around right there.
Well, I just joined the program and heard Hans going off about Pop-Tarts, and I thought, okay, this is obviously I'm not gonna be able to avoid it, the conversation. But no, I'll say this: the trophy was actually impressive to me because it's a toaster, and it came out at the right temperature. The problem with the Pop-Tart is that it gets so hot that you have to wait for it to cool down, and so now we can pull it out and you can just eat it right away. It's perfect temperature for fat guys like me. I don't want to have to wait and cool it down. I just want to take it out of the toaster and pop it in my mouth, and there we go.
Oh, my gosh. When I saw that whole thing go down, Kalani, I was watching the presser, and I felt like the couple in Napoleon Dynamite when they're testing out the Tupperware, and the lady turns and says, I want that. Like, I was looking at that trophy and the Pop-Tarts. I'm like, I want that. It looked amazing. What flavor Pop-Tart did they put in there for you?
They put the cinnamon roll flavor, which I'll eat it, but it's not my favorite. At least the strawberry makes me feel like I'm eating something healthy.
There you go. You're getting those fruits in. Yep, I like that.
The strawberry flavor is perfect for my mind. This is I consider this part of my diet.
Yes.
This is fruit. It works.
It's counting towards my fruits and veggies for the day. Hey,
yep. And then the frosting is just like putting sugar in your cereal. Everybody does that.
Everybody does it. Right? Yeah. Whether it's grape nuts or frosted flakes, we're all putting sugar in there.
The thing that makes me laugh so hard is I literally have the exact same mind as Kalani when it comes to food. Like I'm doing the same thing. Like, yeah, strawberry, heck yeah, man, that's good for you. That's good old fashioned health.
That's pretty much a salad. The way I see it.
Kalani, I was so pumped that it was the Pop-Tarts Bowl. And after the college football playoffs didn't select BYU, which is disgusting, I saw the Pop-Tarts. I'm like, oh, man, well, that might be nice. I'll bet in the broadcast booth there's going to be some Pop-Tarts. And I know I've already sent an email off to the committee. I'm like, these are my 3 favorite Pop-Tart flavors. So, yeah, it's exciting, Kalani. I think that this is a great bowl. And I've been doing some film prep, And Georgia Tech's no slump. This is a really good team, Kalani.
They are, and they were a top 10 team at one point in the season. I think they're number 7 before they lost their first game. They lost before their first loss, and then you look at, they lost to they lost to NC State, and then lost to Pitt, and then at the end lost the last game of the year to Georgia, and that was a one-score game, and that was 16-9 was the final. So this is a really good team, and Brent Key's a really good coach. He's a former lineman coaching as an alma mater. And it was fun for me to get to hang out with him and talk to him. And it's all fun that we get to enjoy the Pop-Tarts and all that stuff. But the game is going to be such a cool matchup for us. And looking at where they're at and how they have an amazing quarterback that is much like when we see what they do on offense. We're very similar. They like throwing the ball down the field, and they like running the ball even with their quarterback. And Ainge King's one of the best in the country at doing it. And so I think they have a tough mindset, physical team. And so, it's going to be fun. Brent Key's going to have his guys ready, and I got to get my guys ready to match them. But this is going to be I like that it's a difficult matchup because it's going to take the most out of us. And I think this could really be a positive thing for us to springboard us into the next season, regardless of the result. But I think looking at the preparation, the extra practices, the development. We got to see our guys tackle today, with our young guys, and that was awesome. They went live. It was fun, man. This is game's right around the corner, and the guys are excited about it. And we love football, so any chance we have to play a game again and against a great opponent like Georgia Tech, we're going to be all for it.
It is essentially a celebration of the season, but taking that game seriously and getting a win seems like it can build a lot of momentum. I look at what you guys did against Colorado, and it just felt like you carried that momentum into spring and into fall. How important are these games to win to kind of have that extra juice going into the offseason?
I think the games are great, but it's the preparation in the games, for the games, that matter more. We were able to take some guys that everyone can play now. So those guys that we redshirted are available to play. It doesn't burn their clock, and so that was the game in the championship game and on. So we get to use some guys and actually get the red shirt and still play and still have a cool game to, whether it's special teams, offense, or defense. They're going to be on the field. That's such a cool taste of football for them that it creates this excitement in the off season, gives them a sense of urgency. So I think the preparation in itself is more rewarding for me as a head coach. Get the guys. They're trying to find ways to get better, so it gives you an extra spring ball, and we'll take as much prep time as we can to get ready for 2026. This is part of that, and then it's also rewarding the seniors for their career, what they've done for us in this program, and we're going to go out there and have fun. It's important that we have fun because that shows a gratitude that your sacrifice pays off. But part of having fun is making sure that we're ready to play that game too. So there'll be a great focus on there, and it'll be awesome for us to go to these amusement parks and hang out with everybody and make some cool memories before before the season ends. But I think this will be for me, it's way more important now than it as a coach than it was even when I was a player. But Hans will tell you that those memories last you a lifetime. If you're sitting here and whether it's just hanging out in the lazy river or going on the rides or just hanging out and having conversations. Mm-hmm. I remember Jamal Williams when he was in his senior game when he played his last game and how emotional he got after the game was done because you realize you're never going to wear the Y ever again as a competitive student athlete. And it's important that our guys see those seniors exiting too and having that celebration in the locker room. So all of that stuff matters, and we're looking forward to ending the season the right way.
I don't know if people truly understand what you're saying about the development, though, Kalani. And you mentioned that in this interview, and I heard you mention it during the presser. But when you look at sophomores like Vimaipua and Tausili Akana, or you look at a freshman like Hunter Clegg, or, you're going to be losing Jack Kelly, so now you really got to take a look at Miles Hall or Ace Kafusi. And these guys are getting meaningful reps against a very good Georgia Tech team, and you're getting an extra week or extra practices to take a good look at these guys, and for them to listen to their coaches and take a few steps forward before they prep for spring. I just don't think you can even talk about it enough, Kalani, how big this is for some of these young guys that you've got. And I've probably missed a lot of defensive names, let alone the offense.
Yeah, it's very important for the development, but also very important for the camaraderie and the brotherhood. And it's a chance for us to thank our coaches and their families too. You know, when coaches are gone and working, long hours, they're sacrificing their time as a husband and as a father for the football program. So now we get to spend time and show appreciation to their families and before the Christmas break. You know, so it's just a great way to finish off everything. And then even if it's when you're looking at the situation, what we're trying to accomplish, I think it makes things just come around the right way. And when people are talking about getting rid of the bowl games, it's crazy. I think there's a need for them, and there's a place for them all. And when these schools are opting out, I don't have any criticism for them. But for me as a head coach, I need the practices. And talking to Sark and talking to Biff, he's the interim coach at Michigan, because we were all together, and they're saying how important this is for the development of their players. And so, if anything, you want to have extra practice time. Imagine spring ball. At the end of spring ball, you get to play a ranked team. That's what we get to do. You know, and I think it's kind of a downer for everybody to do spring ball now, because the spring games is like you play against the same people you practice 15 times against already. You know, it's not really that great of a reward. This one, we get to go someplace different. We get to be in a different environment. I don't know how many guys have even been to Orlando, Florida, but now we get to take a bunch of guys from our team there, and they get to see a different community and get to do some service there too, and enjoy a different setting. It's warm there, so let's go have fun, man, and let's end it with a great football game.
So I know this gets talked a lot, and I'm sure you've probably already been asked the question, but what kind of work do you go through with your coaches to try to develop a plan and a schedule to make sure that, yes, you enjoy it, yes, you have a good time, yes, you celebrate the season, but also treat it like a business trip as well, so that when that game kicks off, you're ready to go? How difficult is it to walk that line?
No, you could do it. I mean, when you're busy working and what you're doing, it's like I think people, if you want to enjoy the movie, go to the movie. Don't look at your phone. Just watch the movie and enjoy it. So when you go to football practice, be a coach. You know, and when you have time to go home, be a dad and be a husband. We can all walk and chew gum at the same time. So we can definitely enjoy the different roles that we have in life. And the major ones, obviously, is your role as a husband, your role as a father, and then football. You know, as a coach can be mixed in there. The problem is that we spend so much time with football that we all of a sudden make that the number one priority, which means that you have to make it up with great efficient time when you're with your family and when you're with your wife. And so that's what we're trying to balance here. And it's been fun that I got to come up through it, and then now I get to be a leader and try to help these young men try to prioritize their time. But it's been fun just seeing it all happen. That combined with everything that's happening in football, with rev share and NIL and all that stuff. I mean, Hans could have made a pretty penny back in the day with his NIL deals. I mean, his balancing the tables on his chin. I mean, he would have probably been a player at BYU and then part-time WWE wrestler. He would have been rolling in the bank. You know, everybody would be trying to market him. So we missed out. We missed out, Hans. Now we're like you know, we didn't have we had our moments, but those memories that we had, even though guys are getting paid now, that stuff still happens. You know, it doesn't change it. This is still the game that we all love to play, and when the ball's up in the air, man, in a stadium, nothing else matters except for what you're doing there in the game.
Yeah, that is the truth, Kalani. Is this is going to be a pretty full slate? I mean, for the BYU fans that are headed out to watch this game or tuning in, do you got a pretty full roster on both sides that are going to show up, or is there a lot up in the air before you get to that game?
No, I mean, I think we've got a great roster coming, and I know that they do too. And it could change all within a day, matter of days or a week. But we feel good about what we're going to bring there and play. So the biggest issue, and you probably heard me say this, Hans, is not really the opt-outs or even guys that are going in the portal. It's more about the guys' health and can we get guys playing at a high level, and are they healthy enough to go? You know, because right now, guys have to make decisions between surgeries and between, the holidays when they're available for stuff like that. Or, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it, and so we're trying to balance all that out. At the same time, there's young men that want to play more, and then I think when guys are going to the portal, most of them want more opportunities on the field, and we're excited for them to have that opportunity. We just want to keep being transparent and communicate with our players of our expectations and where we see them, and just be honest, give them honest feedback, and let them make decisions for themselves. But I think when that's all said and done, we'll still have enough players to go out there and play a game. I feel good about all of it.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I'm watching this video of Parker Kingston in a Pop-Tart. Did Parker Kingston, did he bust into an interview you were doing dressed as a Pop-Tart?
I think Parker's getting a little too comfortable right now. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to humble him a little bit. You know, I think. He's just having fun.
This is great.
I want Parker to be himself. It's like when Jamal Williams is here, and these guys can be quirky. But I want them to have fun. It's what Lavelle always wanted us to do, is just be ourselves, and just don't try to be anything different.
Yep.
And so I love
for
that
good
he's
or
able
for
to
bad.
do that, and do that and goof around and be funny, and he wasn't making fun of me. I think he was just trying to show that he looked good in the Pop-Tart uniform. maybe he's already found his Halloween costume for 2026.
Yeah. Tell you what, that's I guarantee that's probably the fastest Pop-Tart out there. I mean, nobody's going to crack, a Pop-Tart that runs a 4.540. That's not bad at all.
Hey, Kalani, did you ever hear Jamal Williams used to come on with Scotty and I, and he was just so great in interviews. Did you ever hear his story of the Good Samaritan, his rendition of the story of the Good Samaritan?
I have not, but I've heard a lot of different stories from Jamal. And I asked him about why he likes anime so much, and I wish I never asked that question. It was like, all right, you could have just told me you like the colors. That would have been good enough.
Yeah.
He kind of went off into this deep dive into it, and so I've been really careful. I love Jamal so much, but been really careful to ask him serious questions.
Hey, I saw him he was on the sideline at the championship game too, wasn't he? I thought I saw him out there in an AJ DeBonsa jersey.
It's been great having all our alumni just be involved and to be around the guys, be around the program, and there's obviously the ones that have played in the NFL, and then there's others that have just been on the team, and just it's I'm getting old now where I'm seeing the players come back and they have kids now, and I'm sitting there like, man, it's just really good to see everybody. And Jamal's also, because I made a comment about Taysom being at trick or treat, and I kind of said something about it in October. And Jamal shows up at my house and hands out candy, and was so awesome about his daughter. It's just a lot of fun, man. And so I'm enjoying being around the fans, but also interacting with our players, the past players, and even the ones that we played with, Hanson. So I mean, we're the Odies now, you know what I mean? But it's been a lot of fun seeing everybody, and just, man, this feels like a family reunion every time we play a game or people come by to practice.
I know you've hashed it out and you've talked about it and had media availability. So I'm not asking you about the process on the extension or any of that other stuff, but I just wanted to ask you, what was it like to feel the outpouring of love from former teammates, from fans, and everybody else during that process when everybody was reaching out to you and telling you how much they loved and appreciated the hard work that you and your guys have done for BYU? I got to imagine that was a humbling feeling through that experience.
It was amazing, and I don't know. I wish everybody could feel that, what I went through and my family, and just the outpouring of love and appreciation. And it was really cool. Probably hard for me to really put into words. Obviously, I got emotional talking about the love bomb that happened, and I'm glad it happened though. It was really cool, but I also didn't want anything about me be a distraction. I felt like that's kind of where I was trying to avoid all of that from before, and I never want to have this program be about me. I want it to be about the young man, the experience, the team, and so that part felt a little different. But I am thankful for everyone and what they shared. And those are memories and things that I'll carry on for the rest of my life, man. It was amazing and something that I'll cherish and really hard to express in words.
Well, Kalani, I'll see you out there in Orlando. I'm bringing Amanda, Ashlyn, Mackie, and Rye. So we're going to be just minus Rock out there. So I'm bringing the family out. We're going to have a great Orlando Christmas. We're going to enjoy that football game. We're headed out to Busch Gardens. We're going to go enjoy parts of Tampa.
Let's do it. We can FaceTime Rock, though, can't we?
Oh, yeah.
On Monday?
Oh, yeah,
so
absolutely.
I have an appointment with you. You and I are going to hang around the lazy river. There's a lazy river part there at the hotel. So we'll just do it like old buddies back in the day. If you think I'm ugly now, wait till you see me without a shirt on, sitting on top of a tube. That's like, you guys can picture how awesome that's going to look. But nobody take pictures of me and Hans. We're just going to go back to our old bro days back when we used to hang out the lazy river back in 17.
Oh, man.
Hey,
best parts of my life, Kalani.
Hans shares a lot of stories, and some good, some not so good. But you know what? He always clams up when he talks about rental cars and bowl trips.
Yeah, that's where it stops.
That's where he gets really quiet during that time.
We did some stupid things. There's a reason why the players don't have rental cars anymore. Yeah. It was not a good sight. I think everybody thought they were NASCAR drivers for a second.
Oh, Kalani, they put me, little Idaho boy, my freshman year at the Cotton Bowl, they put me in a car with Dennis Simmons. And I think within the first 5 minutes, Dennis wanted to kick me out of the car. I'm like, Dennis, what is this? Can we put in some Conway Twitty? What is this hard? It's like, this is Jay-Z. You're going to have to listen. It's like, oh.
It's okay. It's okay for a kid from Weiser, Idaho, to get to know different things, but
that's right.
It's okay. You can keep coming back down the country and all that stuff. But we've learned quite a bit in the decades of BYU football on how to handle bowl games. I think we're in a really good spot right now. Hanson, I mean, for me, I just got to be careful because I ask people, like, we're on the BYU cruise, and asked people not to take pictures of me. They still did it. So I'm about one Pop-Tart away from wearing a shirt at the pool, which is I don't want to do. So people, put your cameras away, man. Like, don't make me be the guy that has to wear a shirt.
The T-shirt at the pool, guy.
Yeah, don't do that to me. Come on.
Hey, in solidarity, I'm going to be right there with a shirt next to you. So if you're going to do it, we're all going to do it.
I'm going to make anybody above 220 have to wear a shirt to the pool. So we can all feel like included here.
Oh, I love
it. And we can still eat a Pop-Tart.
Yes,
and not feel guilty about it.
Kalani, you're the best, man. We appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks for the time, guys. Love you guys. Go.
Love you, brother.
Cougs. Appreciate it. Thank you.
There he is, Kalani Sitake.
Oh, my gosh, dude. That guy just makes me laugh.
I can't imagine what hanging out with 21-year-old, 22-year-old Kalani was like.
So, let me tell you, because I can tell you honestly, he was always the adult in the room. He was the adult.
Yeah.
And he would say, Hans, I would really advise against you climbing up on that closet, because they had these huge, in the Marriotts, they had these huge, like, wooden closets. Yeah. You could get all the way on top of it. Yeah. And you could come off the top rope down on the beds and drop hammers. And, this was in the day of the people's elbow, and, I was all WWE. And we'd put 20 or 30 of us big boys in a room, and we'd have an all-out brawl. And I didn't understand
how to not take things too far. Yeah.
And Kalani would just sit there like, oh, my gosh. He was always the adult in the room. And I was always the maniac. And that's why he's ended up successful. And here I am, a broadcaster.
Oh,
now
man.
I'm happy with where I've been.
Yeah. Hans and Scotty coming up next. Good, the bad, the ugly right here on The Zone.
It's time to saddle up and talk about the winners and the losers. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, here's the good.
It is the good, it is the bad, it is the ugly right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hans, let's start with the good. The Fighting Bags of Cash get the victory last night. They knock off Pacific 93-57.
Oh, man. The Fighting Bags. Oh, did he step in it?
And afterwards, the athletic director of Pacific sends out a tweet, which he has since deleted, saying essentially, hey, we got to rethink scheduling when we're literally playing walking bags of cash.
Called them walking bags of cash.
And we're going to lose by 40. And BYU fans were not overly happy about that.
Come on, Mr. AD. Come on. It's not too long ago you guys were conference partners.
Yeah, like 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's just a hop, skip, and jump away. And, you know, you do have a responsibility to field a competent basketball team. And this is not college football. This is college basketball. And you've got more opportunity to field a competent basketball team. And I'm not attacking their team because BYU's team is –
I mean, they're at another level.
They're at another level. They truly are looking like an Elite Eight team.
Yeah, if not more.
Minimum.
Yeah.
Elite Eight team. That's where my expectations are for them right now is Elite Eight. Everything over that is icing on the cake. Everything under that is, did you max out? Because you only get this one time with A.J. DeMonson.
Yep.
You only get this one time with Rob Wright. You only get this one time with Richie Saunders. This
Make
whole
sure
team,
you bring up the player you mentioned.
Did you like that, Lloyd?
Don't think I didn't realize. I was like, that's who you threw? That's who you pointed towards?
I honestly don't know how many people even saw that at the end of that.
Yeah, that was impressive.
I tweeted out, walking bags of cash, huh? These are well-paid machines with expectations to meet. These coaches and athletes are working their guts out to get these results and their money. And Pacific players will get a chance someday to say, I once played a game against Tyler Moose.
I don't know if you had to bring Tyler into this.
Well,
he had a hell of a game.
Tyler had a hell of a game. I don't remember what his exact line was.
15 points, I know that.
He was 15 points. I think, was he perfect from the perimeter? Was he like 4 of 4 from the perimeter or 5 of 5 from the perimeter? He was really good on the outside. He was dropping nightmares on Pacific.
Tyler was 4 for 4.
4 for 4 from the perimeter.
And a perfect 3 for 3 from the free throw line, too.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest walking bag of cash out of anybody.
Yeah.
Pay that.
There's your bag of cash.
Pay that man his money. I do think it's funny. Like, and I sent out the tweet too. I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, the guy essentially is telling he's not sending that tweet to BYU fans. He's not sending it. He's sending it to, I don't know how many people are fans of Pacific basketball, but he's saying like, hey, look, you know what? I know we lost by 40, but this is why we lost by 40. And, oh, by the way, if you want to donate so we can have some money, so we can go get some players, feel free to do that as well. But, again, like, BYU's not doing anything that any other school, given their situation and their resources, would do. I mean, look, and so if I'm a BYU fan, like, yeah, say, like, yeah, guess what? Our walking bags of cash kick the crap out of your team. And next year we'll have a new walking bags of cash, and they'll do the same to you.
Yep.
Like, just own it. Have fun with it. Flex a little bit. It's okay. Don't apologize for it.
I totally agree with that, but there is also a conversation that's attached to that when everybody gets the money, let's say everybody had the money, at some point there's something else that has to separate you, whether it's the coaching and the staff and their ability to develop, and then their connections to the NBA, which I think Kevin Young has played a huge role in being able to obtain a guy like A.J. DeMonson or getting a guy like Rob Wright to make the transfer out of Baylor. Or it's the facilities. Maybe it's the facilities. At some point, it's going to be something. Pacific could come up with $20 million to build a roster and compete with BYU's $20 million roster. I don't know what the money is. It's probably not even close to that. I'm just throwing out a number.
Yeah, for a round number.
And at some point, Pacific's going to be recruiting into, what are they, Stockton?
Yeah, Stockton, California.
Yeah, so they're going to be recruiting into Stockton, California, which is the cowboy capital of the world. And they're going to be like, well, come here. We're nice. It's great. Facilities are solid. I would say solid. You know, I mean, and BYU right now has developed an idea and a culture of, yeah, there's the money. Yeah, we'll take care of your money. Yeah, we got you. Come here and check this thing out. Just see what this is. See what Kevin Young's about. See what development's about. Come see what 19,000 in the Marriott Center's about. And by the way, it was like that during West Coast Conference play. Oh, yeah, when Pacific came into the Marriott Center a few years back. This has nothing to do about the money. This is what you do in Provo. You don't go to the bars. We don't have a party scene. The kids come out to our games and they write crazy posters, and they're insane here. It's a fun environment. There's going to be things that separate you. So you can have bags of cash. There's something that separates you.
Oh, there's no doubt. To me, it's just like there's no reason. Like George Steinbrenner, I tweeted this out. George Steinbrenner never apologized for stealing all the baseball talent back in the day when he was running, when he was alive and owning the Yankees.
And my Dodgers don't do that now.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and because not only do you have extra things too, because you have the history of the Yankees, you have the history of the Dodgers, you have living in California, there's a lot of other things, and then there's also the money too. And at no point should BYU ever be like apologizing or like trying to rationalize, the money aspect of it. Like flex it, like own it. And yeah, you've got a great system. You develop players. You do a lot of really good things, and you're able to go toe-to-toe with anybody financially in the country. Like, it's great. You're in the golden age of BYU athletics right now.
Yeah.
This is the golden age of BYU athletics.
And it's so important that in the golden age of NIL, transfer portal, it's so important BYU put their best foot forward. And they say, hey, we've got an NBA wanted and ready coach that this is his desired destination.
Yep.
I mean, let's just think about that. Kevin Young isn't going anywhere. He left the NBA and opportunities to come to BYU, and he's being properly compensated. He's happy to have his family in Provo, and he's excited to raise his family and continue to build the brand. So you've got a really nice, solid foundation of coaching. You've got a great campus. I grew up on that campus. Kalani and I were just joking about it in our conversation, growing up on that campus. It's a magical place to grow up, man. Like, there's trouble if you want it. I found the trouble. Kalani always steered clear of the trouble and tried to steer me clear of the trouble. I found the trouble. But there's also a great way of life if you want to live that great way of life and cleaner living, but also having fun without getting addicted or having problems or getting arrested because you're over the legal limit. There is that place there in BYU too. So you can live whatever life that you want to live. You can be coached by the right coach. It's just going to get so competitive, Scotty, because everybody is going to be able to come up with money. Well, not everybody. Most teams are going to be able to come up with money to fund a roster. Well, then you start to spread out and get thin with the talent. So you got to have something else. That's why with the University of Utah, they have to find a way to relive the glory of what Utah basketball is while making their new basketball coach the centerpiece. They got to have the funding, but when you bring kids in and they're coming in on this recruiting trip and they're seeing Final Four appearances and they're seeing, this great glory run and the great names that you had from Andre Miller to Andrew Bogut and everything in between, it's got to be that. You got to find something that is attached to the money that's separate from everything else, that makes it bigger, better, more desired.
But, the thing to your point is that BYU understood very quickly about an opportunity they had from a financial standpoint to get their name out there very quickly. And then you start to develop the culture. You put guys in the NBA, you make deep runs in the NCAA tournament because of that. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I'm going to BYU to win. Oh, and also get paid. But to really give you that, like those two paddles, that you go clear, to give you that surge immediately, BYU went big financially, and then they can build around that and say, okay, yeah. And then you come here, you got a great education, you're going to get all this other stuff, and we're going to develop you, you're going to win games, you're going to make deep runs in the NCAA tournament, we're going to do all that stuff. And it all started with BYU saying, how can we get there very quickly? Okay, we're going to go toe-to-toe with anybody in the country. And then everybody else is starting to pick up. And you're right, now, and for the next several years, people are going to match what BYU has done, but BYU said, okay, we can get there first. Mm-hmm. We can do it.
Which was very important.
Which was very important. And they did it. Now, you're right, everybody's going to equalize, but now BYU will have that money and a culture of Kevin Young and NBA players and all that other stuff.
Recency, too.
Yes. Yeah, recency, absolutely.
Utah's got to live – right now Utah's got to jump into the past, and they got to make the past prominent and great, and they've got to be able to be a draw with what they did in the past. But everybody needs to hear this really clearly. If you fell with Alex Jensen, John Wooden's not walking through that door anytime soon. And by the way, if you fell with Alex Jensen, I don't even know if some of the great coaches in the history of basketball can come in and fix anything. And look, John Wooden, great coach. If you can't give him the talent, you can't give him the resources, you can't give him the backing, in the world of today's college basketball with paid players, you can't compete. If you ruin this with Alex Jensen, it's over.
Yeah, and it's not an Alex Jensen problem.
It's not an Alex Jensen problem.
Yeah.
This will be a foundational issue with the University of Utah basketball program and athletic department, not Alex Jensen. He is one of the best coaches you're going to be able to find, and he's got NBA connections, NBA notoriety. He's got everything Kevin Young's got. But he did it here with the Utah Jazz. He developed Rudy Gobert, and then he became a hot commodity, was maybe one or two organizations away from having a head coaching shot at the highest level. This guy knows he knows basketball. If you can't do it with him, you're busted. Find a way to meld him with the history, the rich history and past of the greatest points of Utah basketball. Blow those images up, make a shrine, make sure you're increasing all of your basketball facilities, which, all their facilities are new anyways. I think that there was a lot of great work done maybe 5 or 8 years ago to increase things through the Pac-12.
Yeah, and they're about to build a new basketball arena.
Look, I don't care what anybody tells me. I will be and will always be a Larry Kraskowiak fan.
Yeah, and I will always be a Craig Smith fan. These guys didn't just immediately not become a good coach. These guys were great coaches. Larry Kraskowiak won NCAA tournament games at Montana and won games early at the University of Utah. Craig Smith turned a program around that was in a bad place at Utah State and ends up going to 3 consecutive NCAA tournaments.
Yeah.
And Alex Smith is a brilliant basketball mind. If all 3 of those coaches can't make it work at Utah, that's not a coach problem. That's a University of Utah problem.
Yeah, so I'm a big Alex Jensen fan.
I am too.
I believe in his basketball acumen. I believe in his developmental abilities. And now, my vision of Utah basketball is, how do you bring it back? Larry had it for a minute.
Yeah.
I felt like Larry Kraskowiak had it for a minute. He was churning out NBA draft picks. And he was bringing in high-level recruits. Imagine if he'd had the transfer portal, a little bit of money. I think Larry could have been a pretty prominent figure up there. For me, it's Alex Jensen or bust. And, things are rough right now. And you don't have time for things to be rough.
No.
Because just 30 miles down the road, you got a brilliant NBA-level coach that's got a ton of street cred. I mean, A.J. DeMonsa talked about it. They were like, why did you come to BYU? And he said, well, I talked to this NBA player, and he said, you got to go play for Kevin Young. There's going to be calls like that for Alex Jensen.
Oh, yeah.
So what should I do? Well, Alex Jensen, have you seen the guys he developed? Did you see who he was working with just before he jumped out of the NBA and went to the college game? Because he was working with the best of the best, and developing the best of the best. There should be those conversations. And then, when the kid sits down with his agent and he's like, okay, Utah or BYU, well, they're both offering you $8.5 million. So what do you think? I mean, Scotty?
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, Pacific just offered $8 million. So you've got Pacific, Utah, and BYU to choose from. That AD could put $8 million on the table. He can't compete with what's here in the state of Utah.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Whole world news coming up next right here on the Zone.
Go! It's time to span the globe for the hard-hitting news you care about. Well, not really. But hey, at least we found it interesting. This is Whole World News on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
We've got the whole world in our hands.
You got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We got the whole world in our hands. You got you and me.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hans, it's time for another edition of Whole World News right here on the Zone.
All right, Scotty, have you ever wondered what a cruise line does with a dead body?
Don't they have like a freezer downstairs or something?
Okay, so funny that you may suggest or ask. So Royal Caribbean just came under massive fire because they had that 33-year-old that died on their ship, and the family was begging them to turn the ship around and bring the body back. And Royal Caribbean's like, we got 3,000 passengers on this ship. They're not going to want to come home for one dead body. Look, no offense.
Yeah.
It's a dead body.
We'll get to port. And we'll roll his old bones down in there.
We'll roll the old bag of bones down. Well, the family's lawyer is accusing the cruise liner and their employees of stuffing the 35-year-old Californian father's body in a refrigerator before continuing their voyage. And this thing is getting really ugly. So the Royal Caribbean had to kind of divulge that they've got a makeshift morgue on the boat.
I've heard that, yeah.
And it says the cruise ships are outfitted with a hidden morgue for the deceased that are off limits to all regular passengers. So they're not stuffing it in next to the Tartar.
No.
And chow mein.
Yeah.
They've got a separate refrigerator to house the body.
Yes.
Now, I can understand why this would be a lawsuit waiting, because if I had a family member that died on a cruise liner, I'd be like, hey, go ahead and turn her around and we'll meet you at the port. We'll grab the body. I was like, we can't do that.
Yeah, but we'll give you a drink card for the rest of your stay so you can enjoy drinks on us during your time of grieving. And maybe we'll give you an excursion or two.
A paid excursion.
Yeah.
I will tell you, just because I'm a sensitive type, if I'm on my cruise with Miss Amanda, and we're deep in the Southern Caribbean.
Oh, okay, sorry.
And we're, having a good time, and I see the boat start to U-turn, and I'm like, hey, what gives? And they're like, hey, we had somebody die. We're taking the body back to the I'd be like, oh, okay, I get it. But can I get that drink package?
For my trouble.
Can I get an extra excursion? That zip lining that we were going to do on the island of St. Martin.
Can I get a discount on my next cruise?
But if they turn the boat around for a dead body, I'm okay with that.
Oh, I'm not. I got a schedule.
Really? Oh man. Oh, dude. I was just trying to be politically correct.
You wouldn't be happy. I know you wouldn't be happy.
Let's be honest here. Come on.
Like
nobody else is listening right now.
All I know is that's more steak and lobster for me. So
I wouldn't be that. Okay, I would ask for a free cruise out of it, but that's it.
That's all.
A free cruise.
I want a cruise for me and the missus for the trouble.
Yes.
For life.
Do you know?
I want to own the boat.
Do you know one of my dreams, though, and financially it'll never happen, but those like worldwide cruises that take half a year, how great would that be?
Yeah, I was looking at those. Those, I think they'd be pretty amazing.
They're like 50, 60 gur each.
They are, but I also found that we could connect our equipment directly into their satellite Wi-Fi, and we could host the show from the boat for 5 months as we circle.
I feel like that might be a little spotty. I feel like you might hit some dead areas.
I think you might be onto something.
Lloyd,
there.
I think the only problems we'd run into is calling Scotty in his cabin
the wrong time to do the show. And Scotty.
All right.
The cowboy hat is on the door handle.
Scotty doing a FaceTime, and it's like, oh, huh.
What, Scotty? Why did you answer?
I know, Scotty. You shouldn't have answered.
That's
put
you.
Lloyd and I in a really bad.
That's on you.
Well, and the missus wasn't. There were a lot of cranky people over that one.
Yeah, I know.
So
not real fun. But if you do ever by chance die on a cruise ship, they will respect your body and put you in their makeshift morgue.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports. Yeah. So you'll be taken care of. Don't worry about it. Get the best blankets and the best gifts ever and save 50% off this season at Minky Couture. Use Zone 50, and we will be there tomorrow. Normally we're up in the Layton location, but tomorrow we will be in Draper. Minky Couture, covering the season, best gift ever. Visit minkycouture.com or check us out at the location in person coming up tomorrow at Minky Couture in Draper. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Number one.
Miss any part of the show? Every moment of every show is available in podcast form by searching Hans and Scotty on your favorite podcasting platform or online at KSLSports.com. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hans, let's give away some tickets. Caller number 12, 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE. And you'll win a pair of tickets to see Youngblood Idols, the World Tour at UCCU Center in Orem on May 13th next year. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com.
Out of everything that's going down in bowl season, I feel like Utah's just getting the bummest deal.
Yeah. No, that Georgia Tech team.
The Nebraska team.
Or Nebraska team, I'm sorry. It's just...
They're getting the bummest deal.
Yeah.
This is an absolute sham and shame.
Yep.
Nebraska doesn't even have their quarterback. I don't even know if they could have their backup quarterback. I don't know what Nebraska's going to look like. But even with the team mostly intact through the first, 8 games, 9 games, they had a lot of gaps and holes. And as you know, Scotty, I track all the 13 main statistical categories. And listen to this. Nebraska is 126th in fourth down offense, 119th in fourth down defense.
Okay.
105th in red zone offense, touchdown percentage. 136th, dead last in the country in red zone defense. In 31 red zone attempts by their opponent, they've given up 24 touchdowns. That's good enough for 77.4% that they give up defensively in the red zone.
That's a bad number.
Which means you get to the red zone, you're scoring touchdowns. Especially Utah, because look at Utah. Utah is number 3 in the country in red zone offensive touchdown percentage. Out of 52 attempts in the red zone, Utah scored 41 touchdowns, good enough for 78.8%. And number 3 in the country. Red zone offense in touchdown percentage.
That's crazy. That's such a good number.
It's as good as it gets, and they're going against the 136th.
Well,
so
you get inside the 20, it's going to be go time for the Utes.
Yeah, it's touchdown time. They're 107th in sacks allowed. They've given up 30 sacks. They're 105th in sacks for. They've only got 19 sacks on the season. They're 92nd in TFLs. They're 96th in rushing defense. They're giving up 171 yards a game in rushing defense.
Remember when you committed to Nebraska?
Yeah.
And it was the black shirts. And they took, obviously you had Tommy Frazier in the offense and all that.
Tom Osborne was rocking and rolling.
But that defense was what they really always hung their hat on.
Yeah,
nasty, physical.
Very physical, heavy, really heavy lower-bodied defense.
Yeah.
They had their speed on the edges, but this was a heavy lower body defense that just got nasty. And Nebraska's just lost their way.
Yeah. I think that in this day and age of college football, Nebraska doesn't carry a lot of name recognition anymore because we're, 2 generations away from them being a national story.
And so they still think they're great, but they don't have anything to show for it.
Yeah.
And what kid growing up in Texas or that's 18, 19 years old, growing up in Florida, Texas, California, Utah, wherever, and like, ooh, Nebraska came calling.
Jeez.
Ooh. Back in the day, that was a big deal.
Oh,
now,
it was huge.
Now it's not much.
Now it's not much. So I went through some of the Nebraska numbers. Now, I'm going to quickly go through some of the Utah numbers, Scotty. So Utah, number 6 in the country. And by the way, for everybody out there that's listening, maybe doesn't understand the numbers, I'll just simplify it. There's 136 teams in the country. Most of your statistical sites will rank them based off of where they're at and between 1 and 136. So this is Utah, between 1 and 136 in their different categories. They're number 6 in total offense, number 2 in rushing offense, number 17 in passing defense, number 4 in third down offense, number 19 in third down defense, number 24 in fourth down offense, number 3 in red zone offense, number 21 in red zone defense, number 7 in sacks allowed, number 17 in TFLs allowed, number 6 in scoring offense, number 16 in scoring defense. They've got an average margin of 22.4 points in winning margin. Like everything they do, they're +5 in the turnover battle. They've had 17. They forced 17 turnovers. They've only given up 12. This is a complete team that bumped into a buzzsaw Texas Tech team, a buzzsaw BYU team, and fell out of the CFP conversation at 10-2 because they gave up 400 yards rushing to Kansas State, 300 yards rushing to Kansas, and had a couple of fight-back victories against good teams.
Yeah, they're good teams, conference games.
They're good teams, and you finished 10-2, and everything. You got all this momentum. Now, the coaching situation aside, Kyle's a big enough man, and Morgan's a big enough man. They'll figure out how to make all of this work and flow and right. Kyle, regardless of what's happening or how this worked out, Kyle's not going to leave that team in a lurch.
No, sir.
He's just too big of a man, too good of a coach. And so, I think that'll all be squared away. This is a great team, and it's not a good Nebraska team. It's a punk job is what it is, because we'll never get this iteration of this Utah team back, and we'll never know just how good they were at the end of the season. Now, everybody's going to look at it and say, well, not very good because they gave up X amount of rushing yards to Kansas or X amount of rushing yards to Kansas State. But I look at it, I'm like, yeah, but they're putting 40-plus on the board offensively.
Yeah.
So let's just say the defense figures out a couple of things, which they will because they got skilled coaches that know how to fix problems. I guess it just bums me out. But this is going to be a fun trip for Utah fans. It's a quick trip to Vegas. It's still a big logo. It's still Big Ten logo. The Nebraska logo plays well. They should punk them. They should beat them down by 20-plus. And you should be leaving Vegas feeling pretty good about this.
I think this is like playing I think this is like playing Pitt in the Fiesta Bowl. Like, you're going to win, and frankly, you should win big. So have fun, celebrate the season, celebrate the career of Kyle Whittingham, and go out there and beat this team by 30 points. I like the fact that this has – normally, I'd want a good game and a good matchup, and Utah deserves so much better in terms of a matchup than what they're getting out of Nebraska. But all that being said, I think this is a good way for the Kyle Whittingham era to come to an end. It's just an old-fashioned beatdown of a team. And I don't think there's – if I'm a player on this team, I feel like how you felt going into that Utah game, knowing it was Lavelle's last game, like an immense amount of pressure to go out there and win for your coach. And the thing is, Utah is better. They're going to have a good roster available to them, and and Nebraska does not. And Utah should just absolutely curb stomp this team.
I know.
And do it for Kyle.
Do it for Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, give him the best send-off you can possibly give him. I mean, the best gift that anybody can give him is his players showing up and representing. Kyle had an impeccable bowl record in the first, 10 years of his career. And then the bowl record just really tailed off. And I don't know if there's a loss of concentration or maybe not the importance placed on the win, but placed on the development of the week of preparation.
I don't know what exactly happened, but it would be really nice to send him off with a good victory over a middling Big Ten team and a great logo in Nebraska.
Yeah.
And be able to tack that win on. I just wish it was something that when they got done with it, they could send out a tweet and say, hey, College Football Playoff Committee, you missed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You missed.
I mean, and that's on BYU, too. BYU's got to go out and hammer Georgia Tech and say, yeah, you screwed up.
Yeah.
If Tulane loses by 30 and JMU loses by 40 and Utah and BYU both beat their opponents handily, you'd be like.
Yeah. The difference is watching the Georgia Tech film, Georgia Tech's coming.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They're coming.
And you got a team that is building. I think they're the guy we had on yesterday, they're one of their beat writers said it well. Like BYU has been established, and they've been established for a while, and they've had it rolling for a couple of years, and they may be a little disappointed that they're not in the playoff or they're not playing Notre Dame. And so they could have a tendency to overlook this Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech team is like, oh, yeah, we got something to prove.
Yeah.
And
big time.
We're going to take this opportunity to prove to the world that, yeah, that tail end, we're more 8-0 than we are 1-3 to end the season.
Scotty, I don't know if you put the Georgia Tech quarterback down for Heisman. Do you do that throughout the year, or do you just do a final vote?
You do a final vote. You get three people. You rank them 1, 2, 3.
Because at one point, now he finished 10th in the Heisman voting, but at one point he was looked at as top 3.
Yep.
And I was watching the film this morning, so he's got about 1,000 yards rushing this year. And I was watching the way they use him. They'll use him out of an empty backfield. They'll use him out of a multi-back backfield. They'll give him all kinds of pitch options, mesh points, and RPOs, opportunities to pull out of the stomach to make sure that he throws down the field, like all kinds of great stuff. They build – the whole game plan is around this quarterback. And he manages the offense extremely well. And I can tell the offense plays for him. This offensive line plays for him. It's a very capable offensive line. With Utah, like I'm expecting a 22 – like their spread is 22.4 points. That's what their average margin of victory.
Cover it.
I think they cover it against Nebraska. BYU's average margin of victory is 12.9 points. I don't think they cover that against Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech holds them to somewhere around a 10-point, just inside a 12-point victory. And I think it's going to be a dogfight for BYU. Now, I think that BYU is totally equipped to win this game. And, Kalani, I asked Kalani about the full roster. I'm hoping for a full roster, but a full roster wouldn't really make sense to me. It just, there's a couple of guys. Like Jack Kelly.
Yeah.
If Jack Kelly plays in this game, he's just pure warrior.
Oh, yeah.
He's just pure warrior.
Yeah.
Because there's probably things he could be doing to strengthen his body, because I think a large part of his draft stock is going to depend on his combine numbers. I know that sounds ridiculous because the film's out there. I think that there's some fluidity that they need to see from Jack Kelly in all his positional drills. I think he stands to gain maybe even a full round mark based off of, not quite a full round mark, but probably 15 to 20 spot positioning, maybe from a end of the third or middle of the third down into the fourth based off of what he does with his combine numbers. And I don't know what he can really do to gain traction against Georgia Tech. But he is the key to beating Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Because of what they do with their quarterback. He is the quarterback contained killer. He will crush, he will seek and destroy, and he will beat you into oblivion until you don't want to pull the ball out of the mesh anymore, because it sucks being hit by that guy.
Yeah.
So, like, I look at Jack Kelly. If he plays in this game, he's just pure warrior. I feel the same way about L.J. Martin. There was a point where L.J. Martin goes down in a game, gets a bye week, comes back against Texas Tech, and you're like, this dude ain't right. This dude is playing in pain, and he's playing for the love of the game and the love of his teammates. But you get to a bowl game, and you're like, all right, well, what's benefiting L.J. Martin?
Yeah.
But much like Jack Kelly, L.J. Martin is the key to beating Georgia Tech on the offensive side of the ball, because Georgia Tech, their rushing defense is number 94 in the country. Their rushing defense has given up 170 yards on the ground a game.
it's an area that BYU could really attack. So you need to have L.J. Martin on the field. If you don't have L.J., well, and now you're like, wait a second, because it was thin all year.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I do with the snaps and carries? Well, that's going to put extra carries on Bear Bachmeier, which, again, there's another conversation. Bear Bachmeier, what do you got to gain?
Yeah. If he's still hurting?
He had a bad lower body injury that seemed very painful and affected what that offense was able to do against Texas Tech's defense. Okay, so how much weight do I put on him? I've just got a lot of questions across the board. And by the way, I have zero insight. Zero insight. You know, talking to Kalani and listening to coaches, it feels like they're going to have a full roster. But I look at him like there's a couple guys that just doesn't make sense for. That would play a huge role, specifically LJ and Jack Kelly.
I mean, and honestly, as much as I would love to see those two out there on the field, just to watch them play the game of football one more time. If I'm their dad or if I'm advising them just from a career standpoint, I might be saying it might be in your best interest not to play this game.
Yeah, it could be that. You know, I'm watching the Georgia Tech, so I'm doing the whole thing in slow-mo. And so it takes a long time to get through Georgia Tech, Georgia. And I'm through the first half, and I started into the second half. And Georgia did a couple of really good things. Georgia Tech did a couple of really good things. Georgia Tech had a very rare interception in the first half of that game. Got them in field position, and I think they were able to put 3 points on the board with that interception.
By the way, that's the only turnover they've had over the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, it is. It's the only turnover in the last 4 weeks, and I think
7 total.
I think that was only their third interception.
Yeah, four fumbles, 3 interceptions.
3 interceptions. That was their third interception in that final game against Georgia. Which, by the way, it was an overthrow by the Georgia quarterback. Is it Alexander? Is that his name? Georgia quarterback.
I'm not sure.
I think it's Alexander.
Yeah, I think you're.
It was an overthrow and fell into the safety's belly. But you know, as I'm watching the Georgia Tech film against Georgia, who, you know, look, man, I think Georgia's a really good football team, and Georgia Tech held their own from every angle in that game. So we'll see.
Well, I mean, look, I anticipate a very tight game and a very close, down to the wire type of game.
Yeah, but you just need to dress it up.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
dress it up. Put a little
lipstick on that thing.
That's exactly what you're looking to do. I also think that this is really important for BYU, because I do think, again, back-to-back years, BYU's in a bowl game that's not a college football playoff, but it has notoriety and it has implications.
Yes, and they came up big last year in that Colorado game.
Gigantic, and I my gut tells me they're going to do it against Georgia Tech, because Georgia Tech is a niche offense, and I think Jay Hill is very good at sniffing out and destroying niche offenses.
Yeah.
And this is an offense that can throw. I mean, they can. They're number 31 passing offense in the country. They throw for 263 yards a game.
Which surprised me when I saw that.
Right. It is. It is pretty surprising. That puts them as the number 12 offense in the entire country. And obvious reasons. The guy was a top 10 Heisman finalist at the quarterback position. But this is about that offensive line, too. And we were talking to one of the Georgia Tech insiders. He said that he thinks the center might not be available for this game. The center is a dog.
Yeah.
He's a beast. But really across the board, their offensive line has been really good against Georgia in the film I'm watching.
Hans and Scotty, we're live here at Tim Daly Mazda Southtown. You got everybody down here knowing it's the end of the year, and they've got numbers they have to hit. So who takes advantage of that? You do, because whether it's a lease, whether it's a buy, whether you're looking to get into a new vehicle, used vehicle, this is the place to be, because these Mazdas are absolutely incredible. I am a Mazda family. Hans has a Mazda family as well. My wife drives a 90. I drive a 50. My kid now drives a hatchback 3 that is absolutely a beautiful ride and saves you a ton of money on your gas bill.
Hans and I, Amanda drives a 90 unless Hans is stealing it.
Which I did today.
Which he did today. My wife drives a 90. They're PHEVs, and they save a ton of money on gas. My 50 is as much fun as I've had driving any vehicle I've ever had. And so you can match that vehicle to whatever you need it to do. You're going to save money, and you're going to work with the sales staff that is, bar none, the best sales staff on the planet.
But what's interesting is with these Mazdas, as nice a car as they are, you got leasing options, and I don't want you to give the specifics, but you just got your son into a lease.
Yes.
They got leasing options that are under $300 for you're sitting in a brand new car, driving reliability, driving the new tech package, and knowing that your kid is going to be safe. I mean, you can get under $300.
I mean, it's been a perfect situation because, he's a freshman in college, and so we got him on a 3-year lease. He doesn't drive a lot, but he does drive. He's a student at the University of Utah, so he's driving up on the hill, 2 to 3 times a week when it's snowy. We live in Bountiful. There's a ton of snow. And I looked at the vehicle he had. I'm like, I don't like him being in that vehicle. I want him in something a little bit safer. And the fact is, and he can now build his credit, on a lease and get ready to go in that regard. And then I told him, at the end of college, you'll have it, you'll turn it back in, and then you can decide what direction you want to go from there.
Or you can buy it.
Or you can buy it, yeah.
And by the way, you can buy it out for a great price at
the
end of these leases. So come in, check the lease options, brand new vehicles, see why Scotty and I love it, why we put our wives in it, why my mom drives one. And I know you're thinking, wait, Hans's mom drives one? Yeah, it's a 50 full turbo, and it's literally the fastest car I've ever been in.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
My mom she likes fast cars.
Yeah.
It's awesome, and I love her for it. But these are great vehicles, and more importantly, these are great people to deal with.
Yep, the best, the absolute best. Hans and Scotty, this is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The wheel is loaded, and it's time to talk some sports. This is Sports Roulette with Hans and Scotty on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It's time for another edition of Sports Roulette. We take some of the big storylines, put it on a roulette wheel, we spin it, and wherever that little ball lands is what we end up talking about.
Before we jump into this, I just want to throw a conversation out to our listeners. If you accidentally you were backing out of your work parking spot and you brushed a coworker's car and left some scrapes.
Yeah.
No real dents. Didn't tear a bumper off.
Nope.
Just left a couple of scrapes.
Little scratches.
And the car was more than 3 years old.
Yeah.
Would you tell your employee, or would you just back out like you didn't know?
Are there security cameras? If the answer to that is no.
No, the answer to that is you're unsure.
I'm unsure. Okay. Because that, like, if I don't say anything and then that person's like, I want to go see the security tape, and then they see me backing into them, that's going to make things really awkward. But if I can guarantee there's no security footage, I'm not saying a word.
Now add in the fact that fellow employee is Lloyd Cole, and you know he's wealthy.
I hit it reverse, and then I hit forward again. And then...
Face it, girls, I'm older and have better insurance.
That actually sounds just like you.
If I hit Lloyd's car, I'd be like, he can afford another one.
Yeah, right, fine. Right.
Let's go to his garage.
It's Lloyd and Jay Leno.
If I know it's you, suddenly my neck is hurting, even though I wasn't even in the car.
You're having emotional distress.
You weren't even in the car.
Emotional distress.
I can't sleep. I've got recurring headaches.
Lloyd would take me to the car.
I'm owning one of those properties. One of those properties is going to be mine.
Yeah, he'd even settle for just a microwave oven.
Oh, Lloyd, I can't believe it. And I can't believe that you're going to take to task one of our favorite people in the office.
Just one of the nicest people.
Lloyd's already lawyered up. Lloyd's like, we're taking this all the way to the Capitol.
Oh, man. So yes, Lloyd got dinged a little bit in the parking lot, and this coworker of ours immediately fessed up to it. And Lloyd sent us a picture of the little scrape, and it's not substantial at all. And it's like, I don't know if I would have said anything.
Lloyd, would you have noticed that was even there?
Yes, I would have noticed, but I would have had no idea. I would have noticed that.
But you would have thought like Xavier did something, you know.
Or just
drove his bike by or something.
Xavier took one of his toy horses across it.
All right. Let's get to it, Lloyd. Fire up that wheel.
Puka is going to get hit in the pocketbook.
Ooh, NFL's not going to be happy with Puka Nacua. By the way, and I say this all the time, if you wouldn't say it in a normal interview, don't say it on social media and don't say it on a live stream. Puka Nacua thought he was just hanging out with a couple buddies on a live video stream with a couple dudes that apparently he connects with on this stream, and people can sit in and watch it, and was asked about officiating in the NFL, and, well, here's how that went.
Refs be bullshit sometimes. Oh, 100%. I'm like, they had a... Yes, the refs are the worst because there's just some of the rules aren't, and like these guys are lawyers and like they want to be on TV too, bro. Like the game, you don't think he's texting his friends in the group chat like, "Yo, you guys just saw me Sunday Night Football." Like that was no way. Like that wasn't PI. Like, but I called it. I was like,
seriously, they do that?
I mean, these guys are normal human beings too, bro. Like these guys.
I mean, they do a better job than them.
Dude, am I joking? Yeah.
Bro, they do.
They're cheaters, bro. I don't care.
So, Puka Nacua essentially says, well, he does say that these guys are just normal dudes and they want to be on TV as much as any of us, and we'll sit there with the group chat like, hey, I called PI, but it wasn't.
Where did you find this? Is this heating up?
Oh, yeah, it's on the front page of ESPN right now.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Man, he's such a hot item right now.
Yeah, it's
like
this is not going to go well for him.
He's peak NFL right now.
Oh, yeah.
And anything he says or does that's off color or out of rhythm, and this is I don't know. I say this is a big one. I say it's a big one only because these NFL officials hold themselves on the highest of pedestal.
Yeah.
And they're going to stomp around like, you better nip this in the bud because we represent the integrity of this league.
Roger, you better fix this.
Yeah. What are you thinking on this one?
I'm going to say
a couple 100,000.
I was going to say 100. I don't think they're not going to suspend him, but it's going to be it'll be six figures for sure.
Will there be a public reprimand?
Yes. And I think he'll have to issue an apology. Like,
it just these Twitch things bum me out because people do, man. They sit in there and scratch their lint out of their belly buttons while they're watching people play video games, and it's weird. And it's hurt some people.
Oh, in a big way. Absolutely.
Was it Mason Plumlee?
Chandler Parsons.
It was Chandler Parsons that was sitting on a
Twitch and playing a video game and said something that was racially insensitive and never could get back in the league. Was it Chandler Parsons?
I thought it was Plumlee. I thought it was. Is it Parsons? Man, why do I want to say it was Mason Plumlee? It may have been Parsons. Obviously I don't want to attach a name.
I know, that's why I want to be.
I don't want to attach a name to it that's not accurate. But I thought he was with the Trailblazers at the time.
Yeah, it was Chandler Parsons.
It was.
Yeah. Whew. So you got to be careful about that stuff.
I honestly can't believe that these guys will sit on these streams and allow people to be involved in any of it.
Yep. All right, Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Lloyd, spin it.
Cal says no.
For those of you that didn't see, Cal has canceled the game with BYU, the home and home with BYU, where they were going to be showing up at LaVell Edwards Stadium September 12th of next football season. The ACC has notified a certain amount of ACC teams that they'll be moving to a 9-game schedule
And Cal was one of those teams. In an effort to get to the 9-game conference schedule, they had to cancel their home and home with BYU, and that leaves BYU with an opening. And not just an opening. I mean, it's
a big one.
It's a big opening. You know, that's got to be your Power 4 team. In regards to the Big 12 and their requests, I believe, Scotty, that's got to be a Power 4 team.
It does. I believe so, yeah.
So I don't know what happens here.
I don't know, but it's a bad deal, and you're going to have to scramble and find something. And I got to think you can probably request some kind of help from the Big 12 and say, hey, look, this is last minute. These people are already scheduled out. There's no way we can find a Power 4 team. And I'm sure they'll work with them a little bit on this because it was outside of their ability to schedule. So I think that they'll probably give them a little bit of leeway on this, but just considering the time of what it happened. But
how many
either
teams?
that or you're going to have to go to Big 12, and Big 12's got to go to ESPN or one of their TV partners and say, you got to help us out here. Like, make somebody play them, which they have been able to do in the past.
How many teams would be available for a September 12th game? How many Power 4 teams?
At this point, I can't imagine there would be one. Honestly, you might be able to get a group of 5 team, but I don't think you'll be able to find a Power 4 team. I mean, these schedules are done years and years and years in advance, especially at that level.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they can find somebody that can buoy that up, because right now they've got Utah Tech, September 5th. They've got Colorado State. Is that at Colorado State? I think that's at Colorado State. I don't know, and I know that that's in their non-conference schedule for 2026. They're going to have to find an opponent, because you got to remember, I don't know, I'm so caught in this, but you got to remember that when you're putting together a 12-game schedule, you've got 9 conference opponents. It proved that your 9 conference opponents were not enough to get BYU into the CFP. I kind of feel like you have to schedule somebody that's a bit of a dinger if you can put them there.
Yeah, by the way, Colorado State on the road in Fort Collins. You're going to hate that stadium. Oh, you're going to hate it.
I can't. That's bizarre. I mean, with the broadcast team, I will have made a trip to Laramie, Wyoming, and
Fort Collins. They built it's a brand new stadium. It's about 4 or 5 years old, and it has the worst sight lines for radio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they didn't talk to anybody about how to build a booth for radio.
Real smart.
I can't even describe how bad it is.
Oh man, that's too bad. And they're going to be going through a coaching change.
Yeah, you get Jim Mora. Your old, or your his dad was your old coach.
I mean, his dad was my old coach, and I've gotten to know Jim over the years. So I'm excited for him and what he could possibly do. And that's still going to be a dangerous game and a dangerous opponent. What I'm saying though, Scotty, whoever you can find to replace Cal with, I'm kind of wanting it to be a juggernaut.
Yeah, you would hope so.
Get as big a team and as big a game as you can. You make some money, get some eyes off of it. It's going to be early interest. And you got to make some inroads not only for BYU, but you got to make some inroads for the Big 12.
Yes.
You got to have some statement games and statement wins. And Cal was a throwaway.
Oh, it was.
It was a throwaway game. You know, that preseason schedule was kind of a bit of a snoozer. I mean, I don't know if you can add somebody big. But
let me ask you this, though. So BYU had that schedule next year to play 7 home games and only 5 road games. And a lot of these P4 schools are trying to do that as much as possible. Would you be willing to play a juggernaut to sacrifice a home game?
If I could get a neutral like in Vegas.
That's what I'm saying, like a neutral site game that's local, that's drivable.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Like Phoenix or Vegas.
Oh, yeah, Phoenix, Vegas, San Diego. Give me something a bit regional. If I can't get my home game, man, would I be willing to negotiate because it's probably going to be a one-off. You're not going to find a home and home.
And that's why I think you get the TV partners involved and say, look, we'll go to a neutral site. We'll do it in Vegas. We'll sacrifice that 7th home game. We'll go to Vegas or we'll go to Phoenix. We'll pack that place, but we need you to get us an opponent.
Well, I want it to be a really good opponent because I think BYU
that team next year
is going to be very, very good.
Yep. All right, that's Sports Roulette. Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Coming up next, we'll wrap it up. Get you ready for JJ and Alex right here on the Zone.
On to Hans Olsen and Scotty Chin. That's right, yeah! On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, wrapping up another edition of the show. Remember, though, we got all kinds of great opportunities for you to be involved and nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week. Submit your nominations at kslsports.com/contest, and then every Thursday afternoon, JJ and Alex will announce a winner. It is your Hercules Hero of the Week, sponsored by Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Mills. All right, Hans. I kind of miss the old Cougar and You preview shows. Like to, we'll get you ready, and we'll continue to break these games down. But maybe Lloyd, maybe we can even get a Frank Dolce sighting tomorrow, just for a throwback. You think Frank would be willing to come on?
Yeah, I think he would. Maybe.
Oh, boy. It depends on what kind of mood he's in.
I do miss it, man. I miss Frank. He's so much fun. And I miss Coach Mack and Alema.
Yep.
Their laughs and their good times, talking about all things football. Man, it's almost over.
I know. We spent all spring and summer leading up to a great football season, which it has been phenomenal. And then it's just gone.
Just gone.
Yeah.
We're going to have some fun, though, to finish this season off. Scotty and I are headed out to Idaho at the end of this week. And then we'll head out to our various responsibilities. I'll head out to Orlando. We'll have a good Vegas presence coming up on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Man, it's going to be –
I will be spending New Year's Eve in Fresno. That sounds like fun.
I thought the three of us were going to go down to that Vegas Bowl, no? I thought me, you, and Lloyd would take a little roadie.
I actually think I could get back on the 30th. So, Lloyd, are we going to go down to Vegas for that game?
We might have to look into putting this together.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Three of us go down there, go to the game, cover it from a different perspective, not being in the call, but just being there.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of nice.
Well, I mean, look, it's an
old school pre and post.
Yeah, it's an end of an era, you know?
It is. Yeah, we probably do need to be there, but we're going to make the best of the end of this football season.
Yeah, we are. We'll make it last as long as we can. Hans and Scotty, JJ and Alex coming up next.